Hey, is that ham radio? Yeah.
Weird. Let's do it. One take. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the half hour of Kilowatt power. 2 hams, 1 show, and a collection of insulting jokes your mother wouldn't approve of.
Oh no, bro! Yeah, but I said we can't use those.
Stop making that noise. Should we get on with it? What are you doing?
Yes, we should. Without further ado, please welcome your hosts. So we're going to do the rest of the show like this, right? Radio Runner and Ham Radio DX.
Stop making that noise. Stop making that noise.
Do you know about amateur radio?
Good day, mate.
That's a great show.
What, Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, better than this steaming pile.
Oh, well, you talk us down. We're pretty good, right? What's happening?
What is happening?
Don't drop your tea in the keyboard.
Bloody drop it, you nugget. I've been doing something awesome. I've been trying to sort out my remote station.
I didn't know that, so we might have a chat about that a bit later on. But,
bloody too right.
Welcome everyone. This evening, this is the half hour of Kilowatt Power. We're talking about Ham Radio 101 and explaining what are we explaining? I can't even remember what we named this stream. Explaining how to explain ham radio.
Yeah, what happens if someone comes out of the bushes and asks you what you're doing? What are you doing?
That's right. So we got the field day weekend, the ARRL field day weekend just gone. I saw on social media there was quite a lot of banners and, this is amateur radio stuff. So we're going to talk about that, what you say to passers-by, what you say to members of the public, to your family members who might be interested, and ways that we can promote the hobby a little bit. We'll say Ben's in the house. How are you, Ben? Hope you're well. We've got Lionel as well, as always. Lionel always was there early, actually. Kwana, sup all. VK3FRC, new call sign. I don't recognise the call. It looks like an amateur radio club, so good evening. Hopefully, maybe we've got an entire amateur radio club watching us right now, Chris. Imagine that.
I'm sorry, everyone.
And old fart on a BMX saying that he's out for dinner. That's no good. No good at all. He's
in my mind, he's got his phone out on the side of the table right beside the bread basket, and he's like,
yeah. And she's like, "What are you doing? Oh, are you watching sport tonight?
Sports games.
Just watching those two idiots talking about ham radio.
Bloody watch sport. I've got no idea.
Oh no.
I think he actually has, because he hasn't replied. Oh no, he has kind of replied.
He has. Oh, the fire breamer part. Now, is it Palmer or Palmy? Oh, now that is a question. Palmer or Palmy? What a decision. That'll cause a riot in the chat. Steve, we got some new faces in today. Steve, VK5DOC. G'day, Steve.
Team Ford.
We got Rick, VK7RI, local. Jan, from the Netherlands. Zero Harry. Wow, we've got...
Who's who? Which one?
Oh, well, I'm obviously Cheech. Is it Cheech?
Cheech?
You're Chong.
Cheech.
William and Jason as well. So yeah, we're talking about... VK3FRC. It's a club account, but I'm a new operator. Foundation. Awesome, mate. VK3DL.
Nice,
so this segment will be perfect. Awesome. So... this segment, we're asking, what do you... Here we go. We've already started the wall. So, how do you promote ham radio? What do you say to people when they ask you, well, what's that hobby all about? And Ben's going to kick us off here. Whenever I talk to people about my radio hobby, they always ask who I'm going to talk to. I tell them whoever I can with the right gear. Now, you did, obviously, we talked about your video the other week, didn't we, Chris, about what ham radio isn't. And that's usually the go-to question from people, isn't it? Like,
totally.
Oh, who are you going to talk to?
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends. Like, if you're running SSB, then that is the natural question. But if you're running CW, it's even weirder, right? It's almost like they've got no idea what you're doing. Like, are you building a bomb? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you communing with spirits? It's just so out there.
Well, it's interesting because, it's always, who you want to talk to. I had a comment on one of my channels the other day. I can't remember which one it was. Pages. And they mentioned about digital modes. I think I did a video on FT8 and they were like, why are you just doing computers, like talking to one another? Like, that's like, isn't that the internet? And it's like, well, no, it's not the internet. And it's like, how do you explain that to somebody? Because we obviously understand, well, for those that have been amateur radio operators, understand it's a little bit more than that when we've started. But what are you laughing
at? Man, just Peter's having a crack. Yeah. I'm bloody tracking dolphins on top of me summit.
Yeah, I'm looking. Let's ask the chat. What's the best one-liner you've had from someone in the public asking you what you're doing? Are you tracking wildlife is actually a new one. I haven't heard that one before. Are you talking to aliens? That's the other one. Are you talking aliens?
I normally I've told people I'm talking to, it's two-way street. You can tell them you're talking to aliens. Man, also, like, it's an interesting one because not everyone's different, right? So while I might be a total goofball and be like, and be like really enthusiastic, even though I'm massively introverted, if you want to talk about one of my many hobbies, I suddenly become very extroverted about it. Like all good preachers. Everyone's going to have a different style and a different shtick, right? And it's hard to be like, hey, here are the bullet points. Here are the 10 things that you should say to any new blah, blah, blah. Because honestly, some people they're not going to want to talk to anybody in the real world, and that's totally fine. Like, some people are just going to be like, man, I don't want to talk to you. I'm looking for DX stations. They're out there for themselves, right? And that's totally fine. I think just on the cuff of the topic as we're going into it, I think it's important to just recognize that it's not your job necessarily to promote ham radio. It's not your job to talk to people. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Some people are going to be into talking about it. Some people aren't. And so everything that we say, as we're just kind of working through this topic, it's not, everyone's got their own jam. So no one's like, Hayden's not saying you must promote, like, because some people are just happy doing ham radio and doing their own thing and not like promoting it it's just not in their purview. They're just not into that. And that's totally fine and totally cool. But we're just talking for people that, maybe do have a bit of an interest in that. It's one of the elements of the hobby that they're into. But yeah, like I said in that video, I try and take it away from just talking to people because it makes you seem like a creep. It's just this weird thing, like this weird middle-aged dude talking to people that he doesn't know, and like it's other weird middle-aged dudes, and like 0.01% female. This like it seems weird. It seems weird. So I try and tell people about the stuff that I'm building, or try and steer the conversation like almost away from ham radio for a second, and then if they're still talking to me in a few minutes, I can bend it back to make it like just to get some common ground to start with, because it's really hard because there's no common ground. And I'm using ditty da das with a radio that I built to like talk to, like it's super out there, So like, hey, do you come to this summit often, or like, or like, oh, great weather, or hey, how's it going? My name's Chris, and it's not a serial killer, I promise. And just try and have a normal conversation first.
Yeah, and just going back, William says it is hard, especially when it comes to ones like kids. They have no clue today. But talking about, I guess we'd start off with Morse code. So Kiwana says no one uses Morse code except hams these days, and a couple of others have piped up in the chat saying, well, like William says, the navies of the world use CW still.
Do they?
And I don't know, I've never been in the Navy, but I'm assuming so. Jez, I use CW when flying. Certain beacons transmit their location via CW, so I know I'm going in the right direction.
That's good.
VK3FRC says Jeep have started to mould their floor mats with Morse, so it's slowly coming back. I wonder what you mean by that. That's interesting.
Like maybe they just put Jeep in the floor mat and Morse.
Jeep in Morse with dots. How did you realize that? That's what I want to know.
Because nobody looks at the road. It's 2022, my man. No one looks at the road.
No one looks at your floor mats unless you're cleaning them.
What's the I wonder if see, this is wishful thinking, but maybe CW will have a renaissance like vinyl has had. You know, it's not going to happen, but maybe.
Yeah. Old father on a BMX is asking about more subtitles. Got dirty looks, and I turned the volume up. I wonder whether we probably could upload it in Morse, but we might have to do that later on. Probably not live transcription. I was having a chat the other day with another amateur that I ran into when I was going into the post office, actually, and we got on the topic about Morse code, and we're talking about keys, and there's a whole different subset of genre of amateur radio operators that collect keys. Like, you know, people collect all sorts of stuff, but they collect keys and they enjoy building keys as well, designing keys. There's all sorts of subgenres like that. So while someone could say, oh, I do it because I enjoy Morse code, it's just so much more than that. Yeah, look, there we go. You've got a couple of your little keys there too.
I built this one. This is a beauty. But check this out. You guys really have your friggin' brains blown out? I'm going to blow your brains out. Hold on. In a good way. Check this out. Most people have probably seen one of these before. Look at this. Look at that. Ping. Oh, boys. Oh, it's magnificent.
That's ASMR, isn't it?
This is like the cutest, most magnificent key I've ever had the bloody honor of holding. Incredible. How good is that? Oh, Adam's such a stud. Right, I'll put this away.
Okay, well, while you're loving Adam over there in the corner, which we'll talk about shortly, actually, because we do have that.
Are you still there, Adam? No, he's gone.
Yes, I am. So Peter says the man in the beanie with headphones thinks people will think he's weird. Have you come across anyone while you've been doing soda before and they've been like, what are you actually doing?
Yeah, bro. Not often. Like, I'm sure Americans and Europeans have it way more often. I've had you only get it on low peaks, like easier access summits. But I had how many? It hasn't happened often. It's happened
because if you were on one of the higher peaks, and someone else was climbing, they'd be like, "What the hell are you doing up here with a radio?
Get off me mountain!" Yeah, it'd be a big. I'd have to fight them, and obviously I would win, and then it would just be a whole.
You'd film it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But it's happened a couple of times. It's really rare in the bottom of the South Island because no one lives here. But I had one guy, would have been in his 20s. He sounded like he was European, and he was like, "Is that Morse code?" And I was dumbfounded. I just sat and on the top. I didn't know what to say. It's like I was like from that sketch. You know what Morse code is? You know what Morse code is? It was incredible. And he's like, yeah, that's Morse code, right? Like, yeah, it is, man.
We had the same thing when we had an open day, or we've had a couple of open days at our radio club, and people just because we advertised it for the public to come in, and people would come in and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been interested in radio for a while, but I kind of want to just take my license now, and I'm interested." And we're like, "Yeah, oh that's cool,
Look,
yeah,
really."
Oh, hold on,
I'm going to ring me mum. Hold on, mum. There's somebody that wants to do it. Yeah, it's good times.
Bob, he's going to take his license.
Jason, Bob says he's going to do it this time. Oh,
he's finally doing it.
Good times.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't have an angel sound on the soundboard.
Pulls the friggin' rope and the confetti goes everywhere. It's been there for 10 years.
We've got one. We've found a sucker. Oh dear.
Oh, one of us.
But William says, I talk to people for scientific purposes and to test my setup and for emergencies. I tell people that when the phones go down, ham radio will be there. That's a good way to explain it. Not so much here, but in the United States, the prepper movement is a big one. So a lot of people resonate with that. But also, having it for emergency or off grid as well. Like there's heaps of people especially in Australia and New Zealand as well, that are off grid, and also travellers as well. Going back to what Dan says about the Navy and CW, he was in there till 2016. They used Morse by flashlight.
Someone was saying he was gonna. Sorry, brother, you carry on.
Oh, Jez just talks about the Mars rovers and CW. So
that's epic.
Yeah.
Wasn't someone a couple of shows ago saying that they had a skid sorted out and they're going to use their Jeep headlights between islands in Hawaii or something like that? Or did I totally make that up?
I think you totally made it up, but someone should do that.
Nah, someone was in chat. I swear, there's like a 10% chance this is true. Someone was in chat saying that there was a thing and there were aliens involved, and they said they were from the CIA, and I believed them.
And Area 51, and
and it was like an X-Files rerun.
And you know what the worst thing is the previous streams, I don't think you can watch the replay because I accidentally didn't select watch chat replay. So there's no evidence of this.
It definitely happened. It definitely happened. That's all I need.
Lionel's been Googling and says that the dead pedal in at least one Jeep model spells out sand, snow, rivers, rocks in Morse. Nice.
Really?
Honestly, who in the marketing department at these companies are thinking, yeah, let's just write something in Morse code and see who actually sees it?
I had to Google what a dead pedal was. Now I know. It's the footrest thing, right?
Poor home brand fish foods just come in and we're talking about aliens in Area 51.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I imagine some long distance.
Look.
Don't some long what?
Thanks, buddy. I can't highlight your comment, old fart on a BMX, but I appreciate you saying something.
I did hear something about doing more, so like some distance. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sure it was in this show, right?
Sure.
I'm sure it was.
Sure.
Sorry, Hayden. Carry on.
How's your meal going, by the way, old fart on a BMX? How's that Parma? How's the Parma going? No, I was talking about long range what are they, satellites, probes like Voyager and that. Like I think don't they transmit Morse back as well with telemetry and stuff? I don't know.
I'm not sure, bro, but I hope they do, and if they do, that's sick.
That would be pretty sick. And if they don't, NASA should be doing it.
As if I couldn't love space probes any more than I do, you know?
You missed out. You're not supposed to say space, just probes.
Oh, probes. My bad.
Yep. We got a question from Mark 2 Brett. If you shouldn't call CQ on 270 centimeters, what should we say? You can call CQ on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. That's no problem at all. Does it change if you're calling on a repeater? The general consensus is that you don't call CQ on a repeater. You basically just announce that you're listening to the repeater that you're on, and usually announce it like whatever repeater it is and the frequency, just so that if someone's scanning if they're radio scanning and it stops, if they're not looking at the screen, they can call back to you because they know what repeater you are on because you said it what it was. That said, I have called CQ on a repeater before, and that's just because when I've called, it's been silence for like 10 minutes, and I know there's been people listening. So for a bit of a laugh, I call CQ just to stir people up. But don't learn from me. Because
no one talks to Hayden. It's because no one wants to talk to Hayden. Let's be real.
When I was first licensed, there was a joke going around saying that there was a Hayden filter on the repeater because I was on every day.
Got to get that Hayden squelch.
Got to get the squelch gun. Harry Bolognese says, anyone have a recommendation for a POTA laptop, something small and can run WSJT grid tracker?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, WSJT works on a Raspberry Pi, so anything like a smaller, even a mini PC, you might be able to get a second-hand one or something like that. But yeah, something that's fairly small. You can also run WSJT. I think you can get it compiled or make it load on a Android tablet as well. Even
yeah. I'd go with a Windows PC just because it's easier.
Yeah, for sure. I'll fart on BMX.
You're back in the room. Back in the room? Back in the restroom?
Yeah.
Back in which room?
Yeah.
If you're out in the town, which room are you back in?
We've got another new face in the chat, Pamela, N1 ZKH. Good morning from Massachusetts. Very good morning to you. You're up very early. Thank you for joining in. William says a laptop, a Tech Last F5, whatever that is. I've got no idea.
Yeah, neither. N1 ZKH. It's a great call. N1Z, NZ, all day.
NZ. One thing that I did come across on Twitter a little while ago was actually this, which was pretty cool. This guy was doing soda and he got sick of, well, he didn't get sick of, but he was asking about people who inquire about it. So I retweeted this and I found it just before the stream to share. He was calling out for soda people. He said, I'm making a mini QSL type business card explaining while I'm on a mountain with a radio and antenna so I can hand it to the inquisitive people I run into before, during and after my mountaintop activations, anything I should add or subtract to the back. And this is what he's written. What am I doing? That's a great question. I'm a licensed amateur radio operator. Amateur radio, also known as ham radio, is the use of radios for exchanges of messages, wireless experimentation, self-training, private recreation, radio sport, which is an interesting one, contesting, and emergency communication. And then he goes on about Summits on the Air, which is an award scheme for radio amateurs that encourages portable operation in mountainous areas. From the mountain, I communicate with people all over the world with a temporary radio and antenna set up. There are points involved, but I'm mainly doing this for fun. So I thought that was a good little idea, like printing up something like this on the back of a business card, maybe with your call sign and a link to, the relevant area, NZART, ARRL, WIA, whatever, RSGB, and handing that out to people so that you don't have to explain every single time. You can just go, oh, well, this explains what I'm doing, and then you can have a bit more of a general chat. Whoops. You can have a bit more of a general chat to them. Cool, man. So yeah. And I've shown this before too. We've done something similar with QR codes. So you could even add a QR code onto that business card, which can take you directly maybe to the website. Because I know, for instance, if I bring up the ARRL, they have a good landing page, which is what is ham radio, and you could basically put the QR code link to this page, and it gives a nice sort of summary and shows all of these questions. What's the appeal of ham radio? Blah blah blah. So yeah, just a couple of ideas that you could do, which would be pretty cool.
It definitely makes it easier, because I literally just you can just think about it one time, sort it out, and then not have to, because a lot of people, especially amateurs, so they can have issues with it can be a bit flustering, when you're trying to do something and then people come up to you and they want to have a conversation. If you do it that way, all the thinking's been done. You don't have to think about how you're going to explain it today. You're just like, oh, hey, here's a little card, or here's a piece of paper, or something, or hey, just go to the ARRL website or something like that. Then you don't have to when I do it, I always feel like I need to do a really good job of it. So I'm like, oh, geez, how can I make this sound super appealing? Oh, it's a 30-ish-year-old mountain hiker guy. What would he be interested in? I try and do a good job of it. But yeah, if you just do it that way, it's all done. The problem's solved if it ever arises.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of talk about the radio sport side of things, and because you've got amateur radio direction finding, the fox hunting, which is there's international competitions and everything that go on with that sort of thing, contesting, all this sort of thing. I know that the people I've been speaking about have been speaking to have said that this is one thing that could get younger people involved because of the competitiveness and the kind of like esport game. How you got esports on gaming and stuff like that. So it could encourage people to have a go and to explore what it's all about. Notice we've got Greg in Japan. Hello, Greg. Good to see another new call sign in the chat.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
there's a lot of I think chasing kids. I think we've talked about this before. I think chasing kids is really hard for amateur radio. As a place to draw from. It's really hard. They've got so many options. It's just such a noisy space. I really think 30-plus-year-old dweebs is where you that's how you get. That's the target market now.
Yeah,
they've done all that stuff, and they're a little older and they're a little stupider.
And they got some more disposable income than say a 16-year-old. But I mean, that's not to say, especially if you've got someone comes to you and they're at that age and they're like, hey, I want to learn about this. You don't go, nah, wait another 15 years and you'll be right.
That's epic. That's perfect.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Yeah, but just for like buying the majority, I think of the uptake's going to be from that demographic. If you've got kids that are interested, that is freaking amazing. A plus. But in terms of if you were going to allocate funds to certain demographics, I'd skew it that way.
It's the same too with if you have if you've got relatives, like even if you've got younger relatives, especially if they're if you've got like nieces and nephews and stuff, like show it off to them, like bring them down into the shack and say, hey, check this out. We can do this to we can talk to the International Space Station. We can talk to astronauts because like even there was an astronaut during the week who's been making unscheduled random contacts with people, which is really cool. I saw a video on Twitter of a guy doing that. This is what we do. We can do this sport and with fox hunting and all that sort of stuff. So I think if you've got that, then it's a good thing to pursue, definitely. But it is rare, as you say. It's hard to do that. Nick, KC1 PWB, thank you again for being here. Nick, greetings from Connecticut. Thanks for being part of the start of my work day. It starts at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, that's a very, very early start of the day.
Yeah, man. It's cute, Bubba.
Yeah. Just before I press this, Chris, have you got any tea in your hand?
You mean this tea?
Yeah. Put it down.
All right. There's no need. I'm too talented.
What'd you say? You're too coordinated.
Too talented.
Oh, for those that missed last week, Chris spilled tea all over his keyboard while he was dancing.
Allegedly, there's no chat. He turned the chat. No, he doesn't save the chat. No, it got cut. Didn't happen.
It did get cut, but I was planning on re-uploading it.
Oh, did you cut it?
I cut it, but I'm going to be putting it back later.
Classic.
Hobrand fish food. I'm 16, and the most common thing my friends say is I can do that with the internet. Yeah, it's hard to compete with that. It is hard to compete with that.
So you turn around and say, "Well, why don't you build your own internet, bro?" And then what are they going to say?
Yeah, well, I build my own part of the network. Like the network of ham radio operators, sort of thing. So getting on the air, and it's. I think by the time you get to when you're that young, you're probably not really that, unless you're doing like an engineering degree or something in the field that you're interested in. I don't think at that age you're really interested in how it works. You just know it does. And then as you get a little bit older, you're probably like, I kind of want to learn how that works.
Depends on your upbringing. If you've been brought up breaking stuff and building stuff, then it's very different. But that's very unusual for most kids. Most kids get like 2 hours with their parents a day max. And those 2 hours, the parents are exhausted and they don't want to be there, and they want their first wine like ASAP.
Speaking from experience, or
no, not at all. I had an awesome. I'm lucky, man. Great upbringing. But modern kids, it's not so easy, right? Everything's expensive, and both parents are working and all that jazz.
Yeah. So
didn't mean to turn that into a social commentary, guys. I apologize. It's carrying on.
Honestly. So Ham Radio 101, there's a lot of resources out there to explore. Do your best for those who, want to share the hobby. We mentioned that before. Not everyone sort of wants to. But it's I think it's growing. There's a lot of people that say it's not, but I think it's growing, and I just don't think we realize it. Like everything.
Depends where you are. It's growing in some places and not growing in others.
Yeah.
Everyone's throwing around different numbers as well. Sorry, bro. Yes.
When we're talking about, before we do, William's got just another comment. I always bring my friends into the shack. They are amazed yet confused. I let them know that I can send a text without the internet or phone lines in real time at the speed of light. That's pretty cool. Explaining it like that.
It's because you're freaking awesome, William. That's why. It's because you're a badass. Yeah. Keep doing that. It's great.
Yeah, I concur. Now, you've got something to show off, don't you? It is.
I do.
It has been. You've been waiting for this moment for such a long time. It's been on the cards. You've been talking to me about this for weeks.
Have I? Fantastic.
Mm.
I got a package, guys. I got a package.
Well, we know that, but anyway, don't show us. Oh, not that kind of package. Never mind. Sorry. Continue.
This is my time to shine, Hayden. It's my time. I got a package from the King today, ladies and gentlemen. The King. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you the whole shebang because I think unboxing videos are weird. It's just weird.
Well, I kind of want to know what you.
I'm going to show you. Be quiet.
I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know what you got.
No, settle down. You ready for this? All right. You ready for this? Check this out.
Yeah, hurry up.
See that? You see that? Oh,
Look at that.
buddy. How good is that? That's fantastic.
You're a dear. His cat is very talented.
Freaking love it.
The famous K6AOK. I got a QSL card too from K5.
QSL.
Wah. The other one that I also got.
This is my Summit to Summit with Adam from that the vid from way back. That massive Summit to Summit and solar minimum.
And it
QRP.
took so long for the postage to finally get it to New Zealand.
At the solar minimum, guys, more or less.
Yeah, all right. Flexing. But I also got this one.
Whoa. That's cool.
W1AW, the ARRL. So I managed to get an FT8 contact with them, and they sent me a QSL card for it, which is great. I kind of want to. I want to have an SSB contact with them, but that was good.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Hello, Kyle. You did catch us streaming.
Who's this guy?
The Kyle. Kyle's been very. He's been very generous in allowing me to utilize an idea of his, which is ham radio trivia, which will be coming up in about 2 weeks' time from my local radio club around about this time on a Wednesday. So that's we're gonna have fun with that.
You're doing trivia?
Ham radio trivia, yes.
Really?
Did you not know about this?
I thought it was patented.
Well, so did I, but apparently we managed to come to a deal. Our managers spoke, and we managed to strike a deal.
He talked to your mum, didn't he? That's what he did. He talked to your mum.
Yeah. And she said to Kyle, "Look, you're not getting any royalties because
she's hard. I like it."
Yeah. And the only other thing I did want to show off was what I've been doing on the bench. I had all this set up, and now it's shut down on me. I got these technical issues.
Oh, we suck at our job. We
do. And I'll probably feed back on myself. Hold on. Here we go. I want that. And I want that.
That's good, Jez.
That. I don't know what
I like ham radio and maybe 3 people.
Oh,
it's Callum. Holy moly.
Lord Cow is in the house. Hello, Cow. So let me just share this, and I've got to mute.
Hey, Callum, check this out. Look at that. How's that for a QSL card? Fantastic. Have you got one of those, buddy? I don't know if you do. Oh, what's this?
What's
going on?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Let me turn the light on. So things have been a little bit busy on my workbench. I've been doing some repeater work. So this is pretty gnarly stuff. And speaking of stickers, there's quite a few at the back there. Have you got a sticker?
Not for you, mate.
No. Well, that's not very good. No, I just wanted to show this off, what we've been doing. So,
that's awesome.
This is like super serious stuff.
Yeah. Wicked, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, cool.
So, will that make toast or anything? Or
but it won't
make
melt
you
the
coffee
cheese
in the morning, or it doesn't melt the cheese.
It won't melt the cheese.
Or if it does melt the cheese, something's gone horribly wrong. Is that the idea?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wicked, man.
Yes. So at the moment, I'm building a repeater system, which is for our local radio club, and that's taking up a little bit of time. So it's taking me a bit of effort, but that's okay. We're having fun with it.
That is wicked, man.
Now everyone's saying g'day to Cal. It's good to
just take over.
to see.
Just take over, Cal. It's all yours, mate. It's
Yeah.
all yours.
Yeah, if you want to join us ever on a half hour kilowatt power, just come in. It's fine. We only do this. It's only half an hour of our time every Tuesday, so we usually chill. We always run overtime though, don't we?
Never. It's never happened.
No. Rob says, "Hi guys, thank you for what you're doing. Net control on the Fishers Ghost Amateur Radio Club every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time." There's a little shout out for Rob.
Nice.
Cow, should we get Cow's going to come on for 5 minutes? All right, just give me a second.
I haven't dressed up. I haven't dressed up at all, mate.
Haven't you?
I'm dressed like a savage. We couldn't possibly.
Well, I mean, that's irrelevant.
He's on holiday, so he might not even have any pants on.
He is on. Actually, that is a good point.
So
that is a very good point. I just dropped the link in Discord for you there, Cal, if you want to join on. But I'm feeling nervous now.
I know he's coming. He's gonna tell us off. Bang idiots.
Plasma asks, why can't I show comments anymore? Can I still? Oh yeah, I can remove you, but I can't show comments anymore for some reason.
I can't show comments either. It's weird.
Plasma says, did the police ever recover the stolen equipment? No, they didn't, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, but anyway, we work with what we've got.
No, well, it's lucky you guys have the resource to build more stuff.
William's in the Philippines. That's amazing. Most
Really?
repeaters use 2 Baofengs. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit nervous now, knowing that we've got the DX Commander coming on.
He's making us wait, which is good. It's a good strategy.
Especially on his holiday.
DX Commander.
Here he is, Captain Cow. Hey, now, I saw a video this morning of you getting pranked by your daughter.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Was it bad?
It was good. It was good. If anyone hasn't seen it, go over to DX Commander's YouTube channel. It was quite hilarious.
Bloody kids.
What's happening?
I saw the notification, but I didn't. I don't know.
So you're on holiday at the moment.
Yeah. Now just hold on because I've got too many browsers open, and I could hear you live.
Oh,
that's the
right.
worst.
So I was watching your live stream, and I'm on the show all at the same time. Now,
it's bad enough hearing us just once.
Yeah. Same wavelength, buddy.
I don't have a fancy microphone. I'm sorry this crashing like this. It's quite good fun, actually, but can you hear me all right? A bit echoey in the kitchen, yeah?
No, you sound great.
It's fine.
All good.
Okay, fine.
Oh, it's a classic. Whereabouts are you on holiday, mate? Whereabouts are you?
So a little place called Bude, and that's in Cornwall.
Oh, nice.
Which is in the middle of nowhere. And by the way, a lot of people, they do YouTube and they forget to go into one of the spare bedrooms and to take the light. So what I've done is I've gone into one of the spare bedrooms and taken this light here.
Oh, nice.
Anyway.
Especially just for us.
So nice to see you. So nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. I hope you're having a wonderful time and you're working. You've got obviously radios where you are. You working DX while you're on holiday?
Yeah. For us, I always found Uruguay a bit of a problem. So I had him on 15 meters the other day. I haven't had a VK, a ZL, or Tasmania, Hayden, but no doubt that's to come. I've got a few days left.
Yes, it will be. You've got a radio voice. I never knew that. Do that again.
He uses it all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're live with Hayden, VK7. What's she called, sign?
Banana. It's VK7 banana.
No,
VK7 hotel. And a special guest star is Radio Runner.
Man, I just googled.
You could call.
North Cornwall.
You could announce for the BBC.
This
Oh,
I bought years ago, so it's a Rode microphone. And for my Christmas, Wendy bought me a GoPro Hero 10 with a little thing that goes around it, and this fits on top, and it is the best audio I've ever had.
Yeah, there's medium
I'll
amounts of
put a video out tonight. Just around here, I couldn't believe the quality. Weirdly enough, it's a stereo microphone. Normally, we when we make videos, we don't bother with stereo, do we? But it just happens to be a stereo microphone. You
always have to mix it in post, don't you?
Yeah, that sounds quite good. So I'm really pleased. Oh, and I found my old drone. It was up a tree.
Is this your crib, mate? It's your own. You come here quite often. Is this from a previous trip, or did you lose it yesterday?
No, actually, a lot of people knew that I lost my drone, and I bought another one. It's only the Mini 2, DJI Mini 2, and I every few days I could see it in the tree, and then it disappeared. I just didn't know where it was. And Wendy said, "Well, you've got an 18-meter pole. Can't you fish it down?" And I said, "I could, but I can't see the blooming thing." But then the wind was blowing, and I caught sight of it. By this time, I'd already bought another one. So I've now got what I need. I need a solution to the problem of what do you do with two drones?
You make them fight.
I've got to make a video with two drones.
Even one drone is enough.
It'd be good, wouldn't you? Because you could have if you've got like a 20-minute thing you're trying to do in the field or put an antenna up, you could leave a drone just flying, couldn't you? Like a crane shot.
Yeah.
And then maybe one closer. But you'd have controllers and batteries and everything. I don't know.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare.
It does. Got to do it.
It would have been a great. It would have been a great video. You standing there with a Nebula pole trying to fish out a drone out of a tree. Is that what you actually did, or could you reach it?
In the end, I managed to reach it with a 10-meter pole, holding the very end like that. And somehow I managed to stick the pole between like one of the legs and the battery or something, and it got stuck. And I thought, that's handy. So I just collapsed the pole down, and I got it down. And then I went home and I said to Wendy, what am I going to do now? I've got two drones.
Ollie's got a good idea. You could use one of them to pull wires over the top of trees and things.
Nah, mate, you get yourself an open wide doublet and you can take both legs and you lift it.
What we do is we make a V antenna.
Yeah.
You
could do a proper V. A proper V.
And you could rotate it.
Ooh. What's the legal height limit over there? How high can you fly?
120 meters.
No, it's the same as here.
Yeah. Standby station. I just need to rotate my drones. Hit you with my node.
I know. I'll ask Hayden to write me a really cool piece of software or something, to control it all.
The only problem is you can only be on the air for about 10 minutes till the batteries go flat in the drones.
Yeah, great fun though. And anyway, what was your show about anyway? You just
we don't know, mate. We've got no bloody idea. We don't know. We just
where am I? We pick a topic and we just talk rubbish or just take the piss out of someone and we just chat for half an hour generally. But we've extended the show because you've come on. We thought we've got a special guest. No one knew it was happening. So
that's true,
but yeah.
Neither did I. I haven't even shaved.
I was going to say, none of us have your hair.
None of us have.
Someone said in the chat we should have put on our tuxedos and our suits when we knew you were turning up, and we didn't have time.
Yeah.
But no, good to see you.
Yeah. So, what's your when it comes to HF, Hayden? I mean, have you got a 7300? What's your thing on HF?
7300, yeah. Which is just sitting just here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And the antenna is a DX Commander all-band vertical.
Oh, never heard of that.
No, what is that? That sounds terrible.
It's working very, very well, and it's for in actual fact, I did that video the other week, which was on removing the radials because someone asked about it, And
saw it. Yeah.
Did the most unscientific test ever, and everyone put in nice comments saying what I should have done. But anyway, all we did was...
What did you miss? What trick did you miss?
I should have... what was it?
Surely.
Should have used a ground stake. Should have tested a contact on the air. Should have rotate raw pants. Should have rotated the radials around so that we could see what direction it faces. Should have done radiation lobe tests.
You just want to know where you got a match. And
the question was from the viewer was, I've got no room, but I like the DX Commander. What can I get away with as far as radials concerned? Can I have no radials? Can I just have one radial? What can I do? And will it tune up? And that was the question. And you can hear stuff, it'll tune up. How well it will work, that's to be debated. But, it'll work for you. It'll get you on the air anyway. So,
Callum, you've done videos on it anyway. You've done videos with really short radials and stuff.
Really short radials actually work. And I've done... I think I did one. Oh no, I'm going to do quite an in-depth one fairly soon, and then the Q&A is actually going to be on Mike's channel, K8MRD.
MRD.
Yeah.
But one day I'll get my words out, Hayden. Yeah. Did you?
That's all right. That's all right.
Did you try?
Try again.
Did you try just? I can't remember. Did you try just one radial and the coax?
I use one bunch of radials the coax, not one single wire. But yeah.
But that
you've
gave
still
you a
got
match, didn't it?
Yeah. Perfect match, and that was without the tuner even. With no radials whatsoever and just the coax, which the coax braid is just one radial basically. It would tune with the tuner in the radio on every band except for 40 meters, and I think that's just because my coax is not long enough. It's fairly short, so for 40 anyway. But it was an interesting test, but And there was other questions as well, because a lot of people were saying, can we mount this on top of a tin roof and use the tin roof as a... Yeah.
You can. I've got pictures of people doing it. In fact, Rodney, who was on the chat earlier on, I don't know if he's still about, on your chat here, I haven't got the chat open. I can't see what people are saying. Actually, I might do
this Rodney W? Was that the right Rodney?
Rodney, Papa Alpha 9, Radio Whiskey. Yeah, that's him. He's got his mounted on the roof. He's got the 12.4 mounted on the roof.
Sure.
Crazy. I've
tried. There you go. Rodney says,
and got perfect tune all bands except 80. All right. 1 meter radials. A good test, Rodney.
Have you got your 40 meter element there, Hayden? Have you just got it up and across, or have you got it wrapped around back down the pole?
So it goes on the All Band Classic. It goes up the pole to the top, and then it loops back about a meter and a half or something like that.
About a meter. It doesn't make much of a difference. Somewhere between 1 and 2 meters, depending where you want to tune on 40 and 15.
Yeah, right. And it's a shorter pole that you run it out the side. Is that
it happens to be a 9.2, 9.3 meter long pole, and originally it used to really annoy me. Sorry, I'm not here to do a bloody sales pitch. Right?
No, you're right. Mate. I asked the question.
Currently retailing at $249.
Yeah.
Hey, that's on special. You heard it here first.
Free shipping. Quote voucher number. And one day I just happened to cut a long piece of wire and went up and back down, and realised I was getting 15 metres as well. I mean, this is a long time ago now. I've done some research in it, and what we're doing, we're basically got either some capacitance or loading at the top, which doesn't really affect 40, but tunes 15. So,
because it ends up being like a 5/8 or something on 15 close too, doesn't it?
So 5/8 is 62.5%. 3/4 wave is 75%. Most 5/8 aerials are actually antennas, depending what part of the world you're in. Most 5/8s are actually 75% with a loading coil to get the length, physical length down, but still get the match to 50 ohms. So, but that's another design one day I might do, but just to get the customer to make a little homebrew, only very small, at the bottom of a 15-meter element, and they would have a pure 5/8 then.
Oh, yeah.
Because and now
I
with your
digress.
new, because now you got the 12.4 meter pole. Because I think, Chris, you're thinking of 80 meters on this pole is the inverted
that's
L.
exactly. Beg your pardon. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Sorry, buddy.
So what Cal's got now on the 12.4 meter pole is center loaded on 80 meters. Is that what you're calling it? Center loaded on 80?
So it's a bit higher than that. It's about nearly 8 meters up. But,
Okay.
there was a lot of development. I mean, this is quite an interesting topic, and somebody here might know the answer. But originally, I just sort of guessed, we'll put a coil at about 6 meters or something. And sure enough, I could get a tune on 80 meters. But then it turns out that the harmonic I was getting for the next band up was at 14.6. And I felt that was too close to 20 meters. And I wanted to just move it out the way of any other handband and just move the coil, I don't know, a meter or something. It went down to 12.4. And then I woke up one morning. I thought, well, wait a minute, we could get this. If I move the coil further up, I should get the 30-meter band as well. And sure enough, I moved it further up till we get 80 and 30. Now, what you don't know is that when I ran a whisper test for 2 weeks on every band from 10 to 80, normally what you would see is, let's start this head, 80 would be hit in terms of numbers of QSOs or numbers of contacts on you'd get 80, then you'd get 40, then you'd get 30, and then you would peak at the money band where 20 is, wouldn't you? Normally, if you were running a whisper test, this was peaking at the 30-meter band, which makes me think that I've actually got a pair of quarter waves or something stacked on top of each other
right.
at 30. It's in a weird way, it's too good for 30. So I might move the coil back down one day and see if we can get a match on 20 and then rerun the test and see if I'm actually getting a better performance. You
probably got two-phase.
Yeah, it might be. That's right.
You probably got two-phase quarter waves on 30 meters, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think it is, yeah.
How can you say it's too good for 30? That's a classic SSB talk, mate. What are you on about? Too good for 30? Get out.
But you see, you guys are lucky. You've actually got a little bit. You've got a little bit of SSB on 30 down there in region 3, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like
don't
3
tell anyone
kilohertz
that.
wide.
No, that's a secret. Don't tell anyone that.
Are we allowed to swear on this channel? Because if I'm on Jason's channel, I can't even say shit.
You're joking. What a shithead. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know. I say shit. Jason goes, oh shit.
Oh, really?
But this is Australia.
Yeah,
This is
say
VK and
it.
JL, mate. No one gives. Should have seen last week. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Somebody had a good crack.
Now, I dropped you a note the other day, Hayden, because I've got FT8 working. I still get a bit confused. So what you've agreed, but I'm just telling everybody, is that we'll do a recorded stream one day, where you're going to teach me. There's a couple of questions I've got on FT8 about colours and about understanding who I've worked before and all that stuff that just confuses and slightly worries me to get really heavily involved, because the last time I got heavily involved in FT8, which was for about 10 minutes, right? I kept thinking, I don't know if I've worked this guy and I'm just going to annoy him if I go back to him. That used to happen on PSK 31 to me. I would put a CQ out and then I would get.
Oh no.
Hayden, what have you done?
I didn't do anything.
What have you bloody done?
He's dropped out completely.
Oh, you've ruined.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
You pushed the wrong button.
F5.
It's all right.
F5. By the way, if anybody's running Windows here, you know that Alt F4 just shuts the window down. Okay, shuts the window down. So a couple of times on my chat, if somebody's gone, you blooming idiot, you can't do that, and everything else. I said, no, I can. In fact, if you hit Alt F4, you'll find out more about it. They don't know. They just shut the window.
I thought it was just an FT8 hater managed to hack in and pull you out the stream before you were going to continue.
But yeah,
But you've
I
been doing it
contact
for 10
someone on
minutes
the-
and
yeah, and then I forget who I've contacted, and I don't know whether to go back to them or not. And I just got all confused, to be honest. So I know how to work it, and I'm sure a lot of people can get it to work. I just had some questions, really, how other people manage it.
Yep.
That's all. Really. Now, I know you've done a pretty in-depth one before, but I've got ADHD. I can't be asked to watch it.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to watch it either. But no, that'll be fun. We'll do it, and maybe we'll even be able to make it a bit of a bit of fun on it, and a bit of a laugh as well. So we'll
now,
do
is
that.
anybody still doing PSK 31 and MFSK 16 and stuff?
I think
Because
so.
I actually got Ham Radio Deluxe working with DM 780, whatever it's called, the digital thing. And there was a few signals, not a lot, but there was a few signals people are still doing.
Yeah,
PS.
I'm pretty sure PSK 31 is being used quite a bit. Yeah. And one thing that seems to be taking a big resurgence is SSTV as well.
Is it now?
Yeah. We've actually been doing SSTV nets on our local 2 meter repeater here for our radio club, and people have been sending SSTV pictures across town. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's been a couple of boys who've done soda summits with Baofengs and their Androids, and they do the QSO with SSTV. Got their full contacts that way.
That's fantastic.
Pretty sweet. On 2 meters.
Do you guys live a long way from each other?
I'm in his backyard, mate, actually, to be honest. This is a
practically
shed.
my neighbour.
I'm in his shed out in the back garden. Yeah.
You're about what? It's only just over the back fence, about 2,500 k's away, right?
Yeah, it's a wee
2,500 k's.
Yeah, he lives in another country.
Yeah.
And tell me, when you, if you're describing something in metric, like 70 centimeters or 1.2 meters,
70 sims.
Yeah. You have to remember, and this is just to wind up the Americans now, is that 4% of the world's population don't understand metric, right? So you get comments going, how many inches and feet is that?
There's two things. There's two things that I do with that, cow, is when you know how you refer to millimeters, it confuses people when you say, oh, that's about 10 mil. And what you actually mean is 10 millimeters, but mil is actually an imperial measurement as well. And then you've got, there is an imperial measurement, which is mil. And then what I do is I just say, oh, how good was propagation on the 137 foot band? Pretty good. And they're like, what? I got no idea. And I was like, well, you use imperial all the time. So, but we'll start a war in the chat.
We have kilohertz, and we have, the whole science base is in metric, and
completely 10 base.
Yeah. But because I supply a user guide with a DX command. It says, cut this thing, 2.7 meters long, whatever else. And a lot of guys in the US, they don't even have a tape measure that's got inches on one side and centimeters on the other. So, and in fact, I think it was either Lowe's or Home Depot. Didn't even sell it. You couldn't even educate yourself if you wanted to, which is just tragic, really, because metric is just so much easier.
Yeah, we've got imperial and metric tape measures here.
In the stream, gentlemen and ladies, all two ladies, are the Rob Callum. These are just his views. They're not our views. Inches and feet are fine by me. I like yards as well. So, sorry, carry on, Cal.
Send your complaints to Lord Callum.
Yeah, it's a
carer of the Commonwealth.
I'm going to get the comments up here because I don't know who's on or anything. Hang on.
Most of them are asleep, but there are a few that are awake. So
I was going to say, because it's a funny time for Americans.
Plasma is an American, and he says metric base 10 is way easier. So there we go. We've got one.
Fine.
We've converted one.
Oh, that's good.
More importantly, actually, Callum,
mate.
This may be controversial, but do you think that Australia and New Zealand might peel away from and become republics when the guard changes at the top of the Commonwealth?
No idea. Don't give a shit. Whatever.
Exactly.
we're all friends. So, you know.
As long as, well, if you ask people in Australia that question, they say, we don't care as long as we get a public holiday. That's all we care about. We don't want to lose the Queen's birthday birthday weekend. We want to keep the public holiday.
Yeah. And we get to keep drinking beer, make our own beer, and get a public holiday. That's all.
I mean, what does that do for ham radio?
Oh, nothing. Doesn't make the bands any better. Well, we're coming up on an hour now, so thanks for stopping by, Callum. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been fun.
And there's a couple of
it's better just dropping in.
There's a couple of comments here that I just highlighted earlier that I want to bring up. And this is why we continue to do what we do on YouTube and also with, everything that we do with ham radio. Steve says, I literally just found your channel looking into amateur radio. Looks like heaps of vids to learn from here. So good on you, Steve. Well done. Thank you for the comment and for finding us. And Joe says, g'day, guys. Thanks for all your content. Licensed 6 months and loving it. VK2 MOE. So nice. I think at the end of the day, that's why we do it, and we enjoy imparting our how much we enjoy it onto others so that they can be inspired to have fun. So, my mouse is going funny tonight. But before we close off, the one thing that we do have to do is thank all the ham radio supporters. And now you're up, Chris. You read everyone quick.
VK, Phil, Bob, Paul, Andy, the Smoking Ape. Who's that? Love. I can't read that one.
Peter, Brad, Aaron, Lee, David,
Peter, Tim, Chris, come on. Sam, Hayden. Old Fart on the BMX, having a fantastic meal. Tony, Judy, Ham, Brian, Jonathan, Jeremy, Lionel, Brad, Phil, Greg, Southwest, Chris, Phil, John, Doug, Gavin, Shane, Hiking, Jordan, Radio, L, Ray, and L6.
I think you actually did cover them all. Well done.
Really
if you want to be a Ham Radio DX member or a supporter of the channel, there is a link in the description below. Thank you very much, boys, for reading those out. And we'll finish off with Ollie saying Hayden reviewing Cal's antenna got me in. So good to get you there, Ollie. Stick around, Cal. We'll see you backstage. We'll end the show. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Adios. Thanks, guys.
Because we'll offend all the blokes on QRZ and on 80 metres, why can't I get this right?
Okay, shall we get on with the show? What am I doing with my life? Bloody lost it. Stop making that noise. Stop making that noise.